So this is Shopopop, right? It's actually quite easy to say when you get used to it. It's a good name. It's a very memorable name, right? Okay, so I'm going to let you guys introduce yourselves, and then you're going to kick off with a presentation. Okay, as you know, this is interactive, so I'm going to hopefully try and get some great questions from you guys. I've written some of my own questions in case it's a little bit difficult to get you to participate. Yeah, but hopefully you'll be very curious about what these guys are trying to do, because I was. You know, I came from the parcel space, and I think what they're trying to do is really interesting. And you've got lots of evidence to prove it's not a concept anymore, it's real life, right? Okay, so introduce yourself, off you go.
So hi everybody, thanks for coming to our workshop. My name is Antoine, I'm co-founder of Shopopop. And this is Chris, currently country manager of Benelux region. So Shopopop is a project that we are working on 2015, and it's, as you just said, it's not only a concept, it's something that is real and it works. So
maybe take your hand off the base, because that's the radio mic.
Okay, yeah. Better. So what do? We do peer-to-peer delivery, meaning that anybody can become a delivery person just on their daily commuting. So you go to work, you come back from work, you go to wherever, you can pick up a product, deliver it, and earn a few euros. It's definitely something that is not a job. We need you to just we use regular trips, existing commutings, to bring strength to local e-commerce, ship from store, and so that worked. And we did more than 2 million deliveries. We have about 1 million users, mostly in France, where we started, and now we're expanding to new countries. So we already operate in Iberia region, Italy, Benelux, and we're aiming at way more, because that concept works for like many reasons. It's efficient. We can do a lot of things that Chris will introduce to you.
Yes, thanks, Antoine. So indeed, I'm since 1 year developing the Benelux region. So why is this a very big success, and why are we doing very well in Belgium and in the other countries? It's because we come as a support to all physical stores. So we're not the ones that will ship from web shops, but we come in support to the physical existing shops in the market. So if you think of a Carrefour, a Système U, a Leclerc, we do deliveries, and we do grocery deliveries for those guys. So it's in support of those physical stores. We do these deliveries in urban areas, in rural areas. There are no limitations. So not only the city centers where it's very densified, but we can bring it, we can do deliveries in countryside, wherever you would like to have. We target communities around those physical points of sales. The delivery is within 2 hours. So we have an engagement, we have a promise that we can do same-day delivery within the 2 hours. As soon as the delivery comes online, we make sure that we find a shopper, and that will be delivered to your client within those 2 hours time frame. And there are no limitations on the volume either. Because we have big communities around the physical stores, we can either do 300 deliveries, 400 deliveries, 1,000 deliveries if necessary, because we can call upon all those people to execute those deliveries. So that's the fourth interesting point about our solution. Now, how do we do this? How does it work? Your client, the client of the retailer, goes online to the website. He orders his goods, the merchandise, within the web shop, within the environment of the retailer. Then the retailer puts the order online in the Shopopop platform. The Shopopop platform, he prepares the goods, the store prepares the goods, and the Shopopop platform will make sure that the delivery is sent to all shoppers, everybody that has downloaded the application. As soon as the shoppers get the notification on their phone, on the application, they will see if it's interesting, if it's in their vicinity, in their surroundings, and they will go and they will take the reservation for that delivery within the time frame that is requested by the client. As soon that is done, the client gets a notification saying, okay, there will be a shopper coming to deliver the goods at your house within that specific time frame. The shopper drives within the time frame to the store, picks up the goods and executes the delivery. And at the end, the client can give a review and the shopper can give a review on the delivery, how it was executed. So that's the entire system of how we put the things online. Now, who are our shoppers? Who is interested in doing this? Because you might wonder, okay, is this working? Is this very efficient? It is. As Antoine said, we have 2.5 million deliveries executed by the end of the year. So it's a well-proven system. Now, the shoppers, if we can go to the next slide. So the shopper, they can optimize their daily route. It's about commuting, it's about optimizing where they go and seeing that things are within the time frame in their surroundings. So they make the most of the existing trip. That means that they'll be reducing CO2 emissions. Less vans on the road, optimizing space within the cars, optimizing existing infrastructure. And the social experience is something that we have noticed that has become very important. That means that you won't have somebody dropping off your groceries or whatever you have ordered online and put it at the door and go away, but you have a social interaction. That means that it is somebody from your neighborhood. It's maybe your neighbor that is doing the deliveries. So you have a little bit of exchange, you have a little bit of a talk, of a chat, and that makes it a lot more interesting for the end consumer. And we all know that they're all looking for a little bit more of value in the deliveries, not just somebody dropping off the merchandise and going away, but they're looking for value, and that is the value that you can offer them. It's a local person doing local deliveries.
So that new person, that's something that is completely new, is just doing it like 8 to 10 deliveries per month. So we're not talking about a job. We don't want people to be like underpaid, issues with paper, whatever. We really want that to have a sense in what we're doing. So just once in a time, and you have plenty of time to do that delivery very nicely. We have plenty of nice stories with elder people that got support from, well, their neighbors, and they can help unpack the stuff and help one another. And that matters so much. Like before the crisis, the main reason why the shoppers were joining Shopopop was because of the money. Now it's because they feel useful, like they feel to have a sense of meeting with people, because we've faced that last year that we didn't meet anybody, and now that's coming back. So as you see, like on average, a shopper makes $50 per month. So just to fill up his tank, period. And that's what we want to do. We don't want to go professional. We just want to make it simple. Just take the principle of carpooling, adapt to the last mile delivery. And since this is quite simple, it works, as you rightly said, in urban and also rural areas, because, I mean, everyone deserves to have a decent delivery. And that's, for brands, it matters a lot to have that kind of positioning. And so, overall, I mean, we completely changed the way of doing delivery, because we don't depend on the equation between cost, distance, time. It's a matter of how dense is the community, and then the delivery is actually an opportunity cost for everybody. So that's basically what we do today, and that's what we grow. And so today we work mostly with grocery retailers, so in France, in the different countries that we mentioned before, but we can also do it with all local stores, franchisees, whatever fits in a trunk, we can do it. We are trying to go also for smaller things, to deliver by bike when that's your medium of transportation when you go to job, or we can even do deliveries by bus, I mean, if that's how you go to work every day. So that's the kind of brands we are working with. So flower shops, stationery, textile, auto parts, pet shop, whatever. Everything that is needed, and we can deliver it. So that's pretty much it for us. I'm really open to answer all of your questions if you have, and I hope you do. Else, I will feel really lonely here.
Yeah, me as
Thank
well.
you.
Me as well. Keep the microphone. Yeah. Okay, guys. So this is the interactive part. Okay. I've just got a couple of questions. Oh, you already flipping heck out of the chat. Go ahead. So just say who you are, your brand, and then fire your question.
Yeah. Hi, my name is Florian from Germany, working for NKD. It's a textile discount chain. So my question is, do the customers interact on the Shopopop app, or are you kind of like a white label solution that's built into, I think it was Auchan on the slides. Are you the white label backbone that's used in a retailer solution?
Yes, so indeed, and that matters a lot to us. The client belongs to the brand, so the entry point is your website, and then we are a delivery solution among many other if you have. But yeah, we really, and it's really important for us that in tomorrow's world, it's not the platform that will do the job, it's the brand. Your expertise as a textile company matters, your brand image matters, and we will just add the delivery solution, which will bring social and eco-friendly attitude and branding on top of it. But that's yours. You got the contact direct with the client.
So does a customer decide on checkout, I want to have it delivered with Shopopop, or does a retailer say, I have 5 different delivery options, I choose Shopopop now because right now it's the cheapest for me to use Shopopop?
That's really up to you.
That's up to the retailer?
You can have this exclusively as a winning solution, but you can also have this amongst the other solutions. And that's just in the checkout, you just add buttons and say, like, okay, I want Shopopop and I want the other competitors, whichever are in the market, all with their specific advantages and disadvantages. If you want to have a very long distance, under 50 kilometers, then you pick that solution. If you want to go 20 kilometers outside, same thing with remix.
No. Yeah, guys, we need to use the mics because this side of the room can't hear. So
Yeah, well, first of all, before you answer, I just started with my questions. I just want to say I think it's a really cool idea. Glad you guys did it.
okay. So just Chris, if you could just answer that question again, and then I know the guy from Tesco has got a question. He can't wait to ask, so he's next.
Okay, shall I just rephrase what? Okay.
Revisit that.
So the question was: are we the only solution? Are we going to be amongst other solutions in checkout? Yes, indeed. So you can use Shopopop as the exclusive only solution when you want 20 kilometers 20 kilometers extra radius, around your store. But you can also add us as one of these solutions. So you can use the traditional shipping methods, and you just add that in the checkout. But you can also add Shopopop in the checkout. So that means that you got 4, 5, 6 solutions, and the client picks whatever solution he thinks is suitable for his order. So there are no limitations. There's no exclusivity.
Okay. So guy over there with the glasses.
Thanks. I'm Paul from Tesco's in Central Europe. So it's a really good idea, but one of the concerns I have is if we take the order from the customer and it turns out that there are no shoppers who are available or willing to take that order, what do we do? So is there a guarantee anywhere that there will be a certain available slots, delivery windows that we can choose from, or is it a bit of a take a risk?
That was on my list, so I'll strike that one off, yeah?
Yes, so in 2015, we were not so sure. So I did a lot of deliveries. And it took us a couple of years to understand what's the minimum size of the community, and now we are able to provide with certainty a 2-hour delivery or scheduled delivery. So because going fast is nice, but doing it when you need it is even better. So that's what we believe in, and so the community is super wide. And just to give you an example, that's marketing stuff, but 85% of our shoppers come from word of mouth. So when we start, the community grows exponentially. So that's what happens, and then it works. So we can actually tell you, yes, it works 100%. In the few cases where we don't find a shopper immediately or it takes some time, we will call the client and check with him if there is another schedule that would fit with him, and then again, launch that on the app, and then we figure it out. But that's just like once in thousands or something. So, and we have a customer support following each order, like from Monday at 8 to Saturday 8 p.m. And they follow that to make sure that every order is actually gone. So yeah.
So I'm going to come to the gentleman over here in a second. So, building on your question, so what was your name again? Paul. Building on Paul's question. So that was my first question. It's this credibility issue, and how robust is the business model? Is it a little random? But what you're saying is, since 2016, you've built algorithms, know-how, so you know with a lot of confidence that with a certain formula, you know the minimum critical mass of what do you call them? Shoppers?
The shoppers, yeah.
The shoppers are the deliverers, right?
Yeah.
Okay. The shoppers that you need per business model. Now, does that vary depending on whether it's a Carrefour, or a Tesco, an Auchan, which I noticed you had on your list there, versus the local shops that you had on there?
That's the whole mix, because when we start operating in a city or a region or wherever...
Can you just go back one slide so we can see it again? So you've got the big boys,
yep.
Yeah, the food ones, and then you've got the smaller stores. With the smaller stores, have you got a sort of an algorithm, a formula that you can say, okay, if that's your profile, then...
So basically, we start working with groceries for a very simple reason, because people eat almost every day, and they need groceries at their place. So it enables us to have a sustainable number of deliveries on the app, which makes the community stay active. And then for all those smaller stores, we basically can help them even if they have one delivery per month. Once we have the community, it's just add-ons, and that's super easy for us to manage. And then when you have peak season, like Valentine's Day for florists is huge. And even during the COVID, like when they announced the lockdown, we tripled the number of delivery on our app overnight. And every order went really smoothly, and everything happened just nice. So that's the power of the crowd, and we have actually we can handle way more delivery than we are currently doing to fit people's trip. Right now they do 10 deliveries per month, and we still have a bunch of users that don't do deliveries yet. But if we create new sales point, new delivery starting point, we can offer them deliveries on their current journeys. So easy.
So you have more shoppers waiting for volume than you have retailers looking for shoppers?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
Okay, that's interesting. Now you mentioned 2.5 million deliveries since
that's
you began.
The target of by the end of the year. Right now we are about 2 million or something.
Can you share with everybody, by this time next year, what I'm trying to get a feel for what's your curve, how fast are you accelerating?
We tripled every year the number of deliveries and business basically, and now we are opening new countries, so that's a lot of leverage to go even faster, because we've tried in different markets and it works. So now we're ready to scale it and open even more countries. So let's do it.
Okay, we've got a question over here. The guy with the sun in his eyes, by the look of it. So just say who. No, it's the guy in front of you here. So say who you are and where you're from.
Hi, my name is Jose. I'm from Glovo.
We're a food delivery app based in Barcelona, and I wanted to understand. So how do you ensure quality deliveries since the crowd is so big, right? And you can find any person that is commuting. How do you control? I don't know, maybe frauds, quality, etc. How robust is your process? Maybe maybe because of the onboarding process you have. If you could touch on those points, would be great.
That's a really good question. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, that's a big question, and that's basically the first question that everybody asked us in the very beginning. So the quality is quite simple. First of all, you have only one delivery to do at a time, so you have plenty of time to do it nicely. You don't have to rush to get another one, and your life don't depend on it. So you're peaceful with that. So already we put much more chances of having a good delivery. Then, when you have people, you have issues. So sometimes things can go wrong. And, well, you have a whole rating system that makes you see and foresee the issues with the delivery. So, I don't know, like theft, for instance. Like it's gone because you don't master everybody. Well, we just refund the person, the end customer. And that's happening like, I don't know, once every 100,000 deliveries, so that's not happening that often, and since there is a mutual trust between people, just to give you an example of how trust matters in the system, like, I mean, you work at Glovo, so what's the ratio of the women in the service? Like, how many, like, just a rough idea of how many women are working it?
You mean as the delivery?
As delivery people.
I don't have the number, but it's low.
Okay.
It's low. Yeah?
Yeah, it's slow. Okay. So at Shopopop, the number of women doing deliveries is above 55%. So it's completely different scope of trust and mutual confidence in your neighbors, in your community. And that's one of the key factors of the success of Shopopop today.
Can I ask, has that just happened? It just happened that way? Or did you target women?
we just noticed that just in April. I mean, we were just, let's do a review. What do our shoppers think about? And that's what I told you, like we discovered that the reason why people come on Shopopop is to feel useful and to find some sense in what they do. And well, that's when we discovered that more than 55% of the people doing deliveries were women, and it's great, and it was just a surprise.
Okay. So, by the way, can I just have a show of hands? Those in the room that are omni-channel retail. Yeah. So you guys, we know. One at the back there. Okay. No one else is omni-channel retail. You are, you're just quiet. Okay. Oh, it's my friend. 1725. If any of you haven't got any watches, it's 1725. Okay. So can I ask you, what's your business and what do you think of what the guys have just presented? Yeah.
So I'm
Get the mic.
So I'm associate director for Wayfair. So we are a furniture delivery company. So we are one of the biggest furniture delivery companies
huge.
in NA and currently starting. And I'm basically responsible for building up the fulfillment center network in Europe, continental Europe. Currently, I mean, there is, so that's why I said we are not omni-channel because we are not in brick and mortar yet, right? So can't reveal too much there. So that's where we are now. So we are building our own delivery network. At the moment, we have already implemented that in NA. And we are yet to launch that also in continental Europe. And then we are exactly going there, right? So how do you deliver that stuff? And as we are doing furniture mainly, that's a lot of two-person handling, right? So you cannot necessarily put a sofa on a delivery bike, right? That's tough. Mm. So you have kind of a huge variance in how to deliver that. Currently we are working with a lot of carriers there, but if we take that on more on our own, then it's, of course, it opens up a lot of opportunities so that we say, we are not delivering, but we could also assemble, right? I just had a discussion with the IKEA guy who said, we would also like to look into that, right? But also take back the returns. And so basically going into the full, let's say, life cycle of the product, right? Just with implementing that. So from that point of view, it all makes sense. And if I look into what so working backwards from the customer, right? So I've been 8 years with Amazon before. I just recently joined Wayfair. Working backwards from the customer. So what does the customer want, right? And it's more and more convenience. And in terms of convenience, right, it's not so much the money, I would say. So in terms of convenience, so it's important that the item gets to the customer, and that if I have a returns, someone is coming and picking it up. So basically, as a customer, I just need to say, I want to have that as soon as possible or at the date of my convenience. And then if I don't like it, I just also want someone to just come here and say, hey, could you give that to me? And could you just deliver that back to me, right? So for me, right? So from that point of view, all these last mile delivery, that's so super important. So but any other specific point you mentioned that I should answer there as well?
No, I just wanted to get you. So you're a pure play business at the moment. You may go bricks and mortar at some point, but at the moment you're a pure play. From your side, have you got any pure play clients, or are they all omni-channel?
Oh, yeah.
Right. Okay. Because you mentioned when we had a chat earlier that what percentage of your business is within a sort of a 20-kilometer radius? It seems very local for local.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So yes, indeed, we cannot do everything. So we cannot put furnitures yet on our in our community because well, we don't have trucks. And as you mentioned, some furnitures needs 2 people, and we don't do that. I mean, well, we cannot beat every fight at the same time. Yeah. I mean, and there are people that do that really great, and that's good. So returns is actually something that we are thinking about as a German. I know why you are getting there, but yes, that's for us. It's just the other way around. So it's not that complicated also, and that could be like the pickup is on appointment, and that matters a lot. So that could be even better. So yeah, that's. The next step, and for us, why we did that, and as you asked, like everything is on the 20 kilometers radius, because we believe that we need to have cities with stores, with advice when you walk in stores and a nice place, and when you walk in the streets, you are happy with nice window shopping, or when you go to a village, that there is still those local shops, but you need to help them in getting into the needs of the customers of this century. So providing them with the delivery system, which is basically how you can, beat Amazon, is to provide that kind of experience. I mean, might be some Amazon guy around, but no offense, but actually offense, because we want to help like all local retailers to be able to have their own brand on top of everything, and be there and play both sides, like e-commerce, physical shops, and I think that's the key of commerce tomorrow. And I think there is
I just saw that as well. So we've got a question from somebody online. Can I just take this and we'll come back to you in 1 second. So we have a question from Marian Klucic.
Yeah, sure.
The question is, how do you see competition with rapid delivery, i.e. 10 minutes or less, like Getir and Gorillas?
Well, actually, you just talked a little bit about it. It's what we see that people want today is they want to have delivery at their convenience in a specific time frame, and that is what we offer. We can do it very fast. We can do it within 2 hours. But the most demand that we get, and actually what is the most important in the market today, what we see is that people want to have it delivered at a certain moment of the day when they are at home and at their convenience. So those people like Getir and Gorillas, those companies definitely have their place in the market, but it's very fast, and we're not competing with those guys. Our system is different from what they have, and it is different from classic or traditional transport companies. So it's a very good question. We see them coming up very fast. You have very impressive stories about those companies, but it's not the way we're going. We feel that we have a different audience and a different kind of customer. So yeah, that's the main difference. So.
Okay, right, we'll come to you. Sorry, can I go to the guy behind you, and then we'll come to you in a second. We also have another question online from somebody called Jack. So it's going to be 1, 2, and then Jack, if you're watching, you're third, okay?
Hi, Robin from Tesco. We will have a meeting, but maybe a question for you. And first of all, I think this is wonderful. Yeah.
Can you speak up a little bit? It's quite...
I think this is a wonderful idea, what you're doing there. And for us, serving community and helping community is really important. It's one of our core purposes. So I think this is the most important aspect of what you're doing. What's your current limitation? Okay, you cannot do furniture, but what requirements you set to your drivers? So when it comes to frozen products or chilled products, what you expect them to bring?
That's a really good question. So let the response here. Okay, so Jack, we're going to take your question at the same time. Jack's question is, how do you guarantee safety of products? So if you guys could respond to both questions, yeah?
Yes, indeed. So on the volume, that is a very good question, actually, because the volume, you do not know how big the trunk of the car is going to be. You do not know what type of car is going to come up, what the shopper is having. So we currently will limit it to, for groceries, we limit it to 12 bags, and a bag being a just standard unit, and six packs of water. So we put a volume on it just to make sure that it is limited, and we're not transporting dishwashers and whatever. So that's going to be hard. On the other hand, within the application, the retailer has the opportunity to add some comments to the shopper. So you can, if it's a big volume and if it's a very specific item, you can leave a message for the shopper saying, this is going to be a heavy bag, it's going to be a very specific item, so the shopper is aware of what he is delivering, and when he turns up with a Nissan Micra, that is not going to fit and he needs a bigger car. So because we have big communities, we can easily switch between shoppers and everybody will know what he has to do or what he has to deliver. So that's the advantage of the system too. On the safety part, it is actually like going to the supermarket yourself. You go to a supermarket and you drive home. It's the same thing. You're an individual. You bring the products home from the supermarket and you drive straight away from the store to your home. That's what when we validate shoppers, so everybody is individually validated within the system to make sure that we have the right profiles within the system. They have to sign the chart of the shopper, so where they say we will drive straight away from the client or from the shop to the house of the client, and they will adhere to specific rules within the system so that we know that they are aware of what the rules of the system are. And afterwards, we also have the reviews that can be done by the end client and by the shopper. So we're sure that delivery has been successful and that it has been done within the rules that we ask him to comply to.
Okay. And did you make a note that Tesco really like your concept?
Yeah.
Just saying, yeah?
I noticed, and that's great. So we've been working with groceries for quite some time, so we do follow-ups on the delivery timing, and today the average is 13 minutes between leaving from the store and reaching at the client's place. So 13. So that's the speed we achieve. And regarding the whole safety, also, I mean, it happens like you trip in the stairs and then you break all the eggs. And so if that happens, we check with the client and see if they need it right away or not, and then we figure out a solution with the client. So that's fine. And same thing if there is like the car breaks down and the delivery cannot happen or it stays for too long in the trunk. Well, we'll just tell the client to just throw the frozen goods, for instance, or because the cold chain might have been broken, and we will refund or place another delivery. But that's just doing it a good relationship between the grocery retailers, ourselves, the client. Like we figure it out and we find the best solution. But again, that's why we have customer support following everything real time.
Okay, so we've got a question from the guy from Wayfair, and then we've got two questions over here. Okay. Thanks, guys. You're making this very easy for me. This is great.
I will also make that super quick. So, as you mentioned, gorillas, and I think yesterday I read that they really struggle with their, especially their bike deliverers, because they are quite often on strike. Yesterday they fired, I think, all their bike deliverers in 3 places.
So who's this? I missed it.
Gorillas.
Oh, right,
it's,
okay.
It's
Gorilla,
also
yeah.
a food delivery
Yeah, I know.
company, right, in Germany. And so they really struggle. And we saw that in the masterclass today that the company is more and more focusing on these ESG, right? So engagement, sustainability, governance, and so on. How do you make sure that the folks that are delivering for you, that you don't have the same trouble that, for example, Gorillas and or also Amazon in the beginning was in, right? That just your delivery drivers, they just complain about, I can't even go on the toilet and all this stuff, right, happening. So that will be super interesting as well.
It's interesting because I'm going to answer it for you, but the profile of your drivers or your shoppers, 55% women, but also it seems to me they don't do it for the money, they do it for like the community spirit. And I think that's probably where there's a massive difference. Yeah, one wants to serve the community, help the neighbours, and it's a little bit of extra money, and that's cool, but it's not a business for them. Yeah, I think so. Sorry, did I answer correctly? And do I get a job or?
We don't struggle in having more like delivery people. We don't have to fire anybody. I mean, if you don't want to do a delivery, you just don't click on it, and we're good, and we won't bother you. I mean, just do whatever you feel like, and that's a completely different story. And when you have people, like, you need to figure out the workload and have enough people, but also manage peak demand, and we don't bother with that, so we don't really have to deal with those issues. And our business model works. I'm looking forward to see when those companies will be profitable. There might be some good metrics somewhere, but right now they are really good in raising money. That's what I see from my point. I wish I had their skills, but that's my point.
Okay, we've got two questions here. The gentleman in the blue top, so if you just say who you are and where you're from, and then we'll bring the mic back here and then back to you. Okay.
Hi, I'm Adrian from HelloFresh. So I was wondering, how are you handling data security? I mean, usually you have employed drivers and you kind of have a way to handle them. When it's in a community, you might not even know who will be the one who delivers it, so data security might be an issue.
So if I understand well, you speak about the quality of the driver, or the people delivering, the wage issue?
No, like when you employ a driver, then you have a contract with the driver and ensures you that he is not mishandling the data that you're handing over.
Okay.
If it's a private person and you're handing over data, this might be an issue because you don't have a contract with whoever you're going to work with, how to handle the data actually. And if he is misusing the data, then you're reliable for whatever happens with the data.
Like for the phone number, for instance, of the person.
For example, phone number, could be the address, could be pretty much everything.
So how do you protect
So
it?
that's one of the points that Chris mentioned in the Shopopop charter. I mean that they agreed to comply and not to reuse the phone number afterwards. That's currently how we handle things. Then there is a bunch of solutions to anonymize it, and we're working on it so that actually there is no actual phone number shared. And also, I mean, we provide all the information at the very last moment. I mean, the specific name of the person. They don't really have to get the email address. They don't have that. And well, they need to have the final address to deliver. So yeah, there is a part of the things that you cannot really take out. The phone number is something that we're working on to actually put it outside those issues. But well, I hope I answered your question. But that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Okay. And there's the gentleman shirt.
Hi, Christopher Pruis, Vice President Operations, also from HelloFresh. So first of all, it's a really nice idea. Kudos to that. I think what you've built is kind of like the Uber for deliveries in a little way. And I mean, we all knew how the Uber story, like in the beginning, had some troubles. Like specifically here, you're building like an income model for non-professionals. How is it like in the countries that you're currently active in with the taxation of that? Is that an issue, and how much do you think that will hinder you like in the upscaling? I think that like most countries have like a limit that you can basically earn on the side, but there's like a natural limit then for your shoppers. Do you consider these, like, is this like you said, this is more of a social thing and they want to feel like they add value or have a meaning in their lives? to be, it's a little bit weird, but yeah, like how do you deal with that, and is that an issue for you?
Yeah. So the tax issue, you know, the old IR35, it's a big issue in some countries, yeah?
Very good question too, because it's all the legal stuff is very specific. You have a European framework for everything that is sharing economy. That for one. Then you have it specified per country. So when we open a new country, we always look into everything which is GDPR, legal stuff, the sharing economy framework. Specifically for Belgium, you do have a very specific framework, which is a 10.70% taxation, which is an advantageous system, and it is separate from what you have, which is a national agreement. So the national taxation is 30, 35, 40%. These things, these rules are made per country and are different per country, but in Europe you have a framework everywhere. So it's up to us to dig into that legal stuff per country. So the shoppers indeed cannot drive too much, but that is our system. We do not want professional drivers, they're all individuals. So we do limit them to, when we see that they are too dependent on the system, that means when they start to have a tendency towards professional driving, we'll limit them. We'll reduce visibility for them. So we will call upon the rest of the community that we have raised, and we will say, hey, you guys go first, and then we will go to the other ones, the ones that are driving too much. So that way you keep under control that they go above the threshold of the fiscal advantages they have, and we are sure that they will never go above it, because then the system is not what it's supposed to be. So that's the way we manage. Country per country, we look into it, and we control it, and we make sure that they will never go that will never become professionals.
I mean, it's interesting. It's a really good question that he raises, because at the moment you have more shoppers than you have volume, right? So you're able to respond like you. At some point, if the business is really successful, those scales might tip, and that's when maybe you need to put some checks and balances in place, which.
Absolutely. It's all about synchronization within the business. So when we open a region, we look for partners, we go with the partner, we find shoppers, we find communities. Ideally, for Belgium, we have 11 million shoppers. Everybody downloads the application, everybody can drive around, and everybody can do what they have to do. But indeed, those are KPIs that we manage within the company. We keep constantly looking at on how many shoppers we have, how many partners do we have in a certain region, and how fast do they react or they do not react. So those are things that we keep a very good short look at.
Okay, so where are you now? Where are you going next? And how long does it take you to recruit the shoppers, open up the retail clients, and go live in a new market?
Well, for Belgium, it went very fast. We had interesting learnings. We started out in Italy, then Portugal, then we went to Belgium. So we have a lot of learnings. We're going to Spain. We're opening Spain now. So the process of opening a country goes faster and faster. We perfectly understand what we have to do and how we have to do it, and we put in place methods and procedures to open countries fast. Spain is by the end of the year. The Netherlands, we should be going this month. Should be having the first stores here, working with us, and then we will go to UK, Germany. They're all coming up the beginning of next year. So that's the development plan. We, as I said, we understand very well how we're going now and how we should do business. So we want to have a coverage in Europe very fast, and we will see how successful we are in the openings. The timing of the Belgian opening was 2 months between hiring a team and having the first deliveries. So we will try to do the same for the next countries.
And let's take Germany for example. Would you start by region and then gradually spread so you get the critical mass for Bavaria and then move elsewhere in the country?
Absolutely.
Okay.
We open region per region. So we go with the partner to a certain region, we find the shoppers, and then we try to go like an oil stain. We try to expand and densify. And we open, always with national partners, we open new regions. So that means that they bring us new new customers, new shoppers, new regions to open, and we densify that region so that we have all shoppers present and we have a very good coverage of that region.
Okay, right. We're at the end. In fact, we're over time. One last question, if anybody's got one. No urgent last question. Brilliant. Listen, guys, absolutely fantastic. A lot of interest in the room. I think everybody wants this to really work because it's exciting, it's new, it's different. Somebody mentioned the Uber word. Yeah, so he wins the 10 euros because I wondered who would be the first to recognize there's a kind of a parallel here. But yeah, good luck. Thank you for taking part. I think it's been excellent. Thank you guys also.
Thank you very much.
Participating.
Thank you, everybody.
And see you all later on.